Worst contractor story ever. Not late, not over budget. He promised a castle would stand forever by mixing the mortar with human blood. This comes from Maruwaka Castle in Fukui, built in 1576. The foundation kept failing. Rain, wind, collapse. Desperation followed. The engineer offered an ancient fix, a human pillar. A peasant woman named O-Shizu was tricked and buried alive inside the foundation. Her death was meant to bind stone to earth. Historians say no body rests there. Folklore. The story stayed alive. People kept telling it. People kept fearing it. The horror never needed proof.
O-Shizu's story evolved. They say her spirit, a yurei, stayed. That in the castle well, you can see her face reflected on rainy nights, that she cries for her lost child. This legend was so powerful it became formalized, ritualized in no drama, that stark, masked Japanese theater where spirits recount their traumas. On that stage, O-Shizu's story was no longer just a local tale. It became art, a cultural memory of a profound collective guilt. But here's the thing, zoom out from Japan, and the pattern emerges. This isn't a one-off. This is a blueprint. It's in the Western literature you read in school. The founding of King Priam's Troy in Greek myth, where a maiden is buried for the walls. It's in the ballads of Denmark, where a child's body was said to be immured in the wall of Copenhagen's fortress to stop it from falling down. It's in the chilling archaeological evidence from Mesoamerica, where offerings to the Earth Mother that were entombed beneath pyramids. The hidden backstory isn't about one castle. It's about the primordial intersection of three human impulses: the technological need to build, the spiritual need to bargain with forces, and the harsh social reality that the ultimate price is always paid by the powerless. The pattern is a transaction, a life for stability, a soul for sovereignty. The legend of Maruoka is a perfect preserved echo of that ancient global scream. So, is it over? Are these just dusty tales? Absolutely not. The recent encounters are everywhere. Not necessarily as literal ghosts, but in our ongoing stories. Look at our modern folklore. The vanishing hitchhiker by the old bridge. The trope of the haunted building built on a burial ground in 100 horror movies. These legends migrated from campfire tales to no drama to gothic Western literature, and now to our Netflix queues. The sacrifice is a constant. A pale, mournful figure forever tied to the place that consumed her. We are still ritualizing that fear. We just use different mediums. So let's anchor this in time. The first event, the literal mortar and stone, was 1576. The Sengoku Jidai, Japan's age of warring states. A time of absolute chaos where lords rose and fell overnight, and a castle wasn't just a home, it was a statement of brutal, unshakable power. But the hidden backstory and history? That doesn't start in 1576. That starts centuries in the human psyche. To understand Maruoka, you have to understand what they were truly building and what they were truly afraid of. On the surface, they were building a fortress for the warlord Shibata Katsutoyo. The hidden truth? They were building a psychological keystone. In a world spinning into violence, the castle was an anchor. Its physical stability represented social order, political permanence. So when the foundation, the literal bedrock of this order, failed, it wasn't just an engineering problem. It was an omen. A sign that the gods, the land spirits, the kami were not appeased, that the natural order was rejecting this new power. Now, the historical record is silent on a sacrifice, but it's screaming with context. This was a feudal society with a rigid hierarchy. The life of a peasant, like O-Shizu in the legend, was often seen as a resource, as expendable for the greater good of the Lord's project. The hidden history isn't a single secret burial. It's the pervasive, accepted reality of that social contract. So where did the specific legend come from? It likely bloomed later, as a folk memory explaining suffering. Maybe a local woman named O-Shizu died tragically during construction. Or perhaps it was a narrative created to explain the eerie sounds of a settling foundation, or the damp, weeping stones of the well. Trauma and loss needed a vessel, a story to hold it. The tale of the Hitobashira became that vessel, a way to give form to the unspoken cost of feudal ambition. It transformed a random tragedy or a structural quirk into a purposeful, if terrible, sacrament. The story says, we did this terrible thing, and that is why it stands. It replaces chaotic, meaningless sacrifice with ritualized, meaningful one. That's far less terrifying than the alternative, that the suffering had no point at all. And this is the ultimate hidden history. The legend isn't about the past, it's about the present of the people who told it. It's their way of grappling with the weight of the castle that dominated their landscape and their lives. By giving it a ghost, they gave it a conscience. By giving it a victim, they gave themselves a secret truth, that this symbol of power was, in fact, born from a profound crime. The castle's true foundation isn't in the year 1576. It's in the moment the first person looked at its imposing walls, felt a shiver of awe mixed with dread, and whispered, "What did they have to bury to make it stand?" That question, that need for a dark secret beneath glory, is the real first event. And it's an event that has been recurring for as long as humans have built towers and told tales. The pattern doesn't just emerge from history, it emerges from us. From our need to believe that power has a price, that stability requires a pact, and that the earth itself must be paid in the currency of blood. The ghost of O-Shizu isn't trapped in the stone, she's trapped in the story. And we keep telling it because on some level, we've never stopped believing it might be true. So what's the lesson here? The lesson is that our stories are our foundations. We build our identities on narratives, and sometimes the deepest, most enduring narratives are the traumatic ones. The ones about the price that was paid. The ghost isn't just a spook, she's the memory of a social cost, screaming to be acknowledged. Which brings me to your next roadblock. You've heard this story, you feel that chill of recognition, and now you're going to start seeing this pattern everywhere. In the local legend about the haunted tunnel, in the myth you read. You'll hit the wall of, is this real? What do I do with this? Here's your next step. Don't let the curiosity die. Follow the thread. That's what we do here. We connect these dots. We look at the ghost story, then the history, then the psychology, then the global pattern. If this kind of deep dive into the hidden architecture of our fears fascinates you, then you're in the right place. Subscribe. Hit that bell. Because next time, we might be talking about the spirits trapped in the London Underground, or why every culture has a Grey Lady, or what these sacrifice legends tell us about how we view progress itself. Your homework? Look up the local legend in your area. What's it built on? The stories are the foundation, and we're here to excavate.
Thanks for watching. Hit that like button and share this video with someone who loves a good scare. Every tap and share helps us bring ye more terrifying true stories, disturbing encounters, and chillin' mysteries. Tales designed to keep ye up at night. This is Dark Hour Diaries, where your nightmares find a voice. Arr!